Archangel Michael says, there's a person who can still feel the imprint of your soul on theirs, even after all this time. They didn't forget, even though the world kept turning and the seasons changed. That moment, that single touch, it awakened something eternal in them. They pretend to have moved on, and they act like you're just a memory, but deep inside, your presence still lingers in their every heartbeat. That simple gesture, so effortless for you, sparked a fire in them they've never been able to put out. In quiet corners of the night, they replay it, again and again. Your name still holds meaning to them. They may never say it aloud, but in the silence of their room, they whisper it like a prayer. They wonder if you remember it too, how your hand brushed theirs, how your warmth passed like a gentle blessing. It wasn't just physical, it was something spiritual, something ancient, as if two souls collided and exchanged more than just skin and warmth. What you gave them that day has lived on long after you left the room. 1,000 other hands could never replace the calm they felt in yours. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They don't understand why that 1 second left such a mark. But you were meant to come into their life, even for a brief moment, to show them something that would never fade. You touched their arm, but you reached their spirit. Sometimes when they feel cold, they don't reach for a blanket, they remember you. You are their warmth, their safety, the only proof they ever needed that magic exists. And even if it lasted for just a breath, it was more real than years with someone else. There are people who carry grief from what never bloomed. But this is different. They carry joy wrapped in sadness, because something so pure brushed past their soul and left it glowing. They see people every day, but none of them compare to that singular, soft electricity you left behind. No one has ever touched them the way you did. They keep checking their heart to see if that fire is still alive, and it always is. Type Amen to get blessing 912. They can be walking in the crowd, surrounded by laughter and noise, but the moment their skin remembers yours, they fall silent. Everything else blurs. Only that sacred instant remains. Archangel Michael says, you were a divine appointment in their life. It doesn't matter how short the encounter seemed, heaven orchestrated it to be unforgettable. They still feel chosen because of it. They don't talk about it. Some feelings are too fragile for words. But your name still brings tears when it crosses their mind unexpectedly. People often forget the small things, but not this person. They remember every second, every blink, every heartbeat that surrounded that touch. They know exactly where they were, how the air smelled, what your fingers felt like. The memory is sacred, not haunting. They carry it with love, with honor, with silence. Your warmth became their anchor in moments they were drifting. Type Amen to get blessing 665. Even now, they wish they could hold your hand one more time, not to take anything from you, but to return that warmth you gave them. They would hold it gently this time, knowing the price of something rare. They wonder if you knew how much they needed it. You didn't just touch them, you awakened their capacity to feel again. That single act restored color to their world. And now, everything feels a little less vibrant without you. They remember your scent, your voice, the way your eyes met theirs just before. It plays like an eternal song they never get tired of hearing. It's etched deep inside where no one else can reach. They live in gratitude for that encounter. Even if it ended too soon, even if nothing ever came of it, they still smile when they think of it. Because how often do you brush against heaven and live to remember it? Type Amen to get blessing 407. There was no preparation. No warning. Just one sacred collision that changed the rhythm of their soul. And it happened the moment your skin met theirs. You may not even know what you gave them. That's how pure your energy is. You heal and bless without realizing it. You were sent into their path to remind them of softness and truth. And they didn't let go of that moment. Not even once. They tucked it deep within like a hidden flame, guarding it from the cold winds of life. Sometimes when they feel lost, they close their eyes and relive that exact moment. It's their compass, their comfort. Your warmth still gives them direction. Type Amen to get blessing 728. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Your touch was a sanctuary. While the world offered chaos, you offered presence. It's not about what you said, it's about how you made them feel. They carry you in secret. You are their soul's quiet reverence. Not a day passes without remembering that energy you gave. People talk of soulmates like fairy tales. But you proved it with one touch. In 1 second, you gave them eternity. Even if years pass without meeting again, they will never feel that kind of connection again. They know it. You know it. The universe knows it. Type Amen to get blessing 551. They tried to forget. They buried the feeling under work, distance, and distractions. But your warmth kept rising through the cracks. Their body remembers. Their skin longs for that echo. No other embrace has made them feel so safe, so seen, so full. You are not a ghost. You are a silent presence. Even in your absence, you radiate through their thoughts like a familiar light. They may be in love with someone else now. They may have built a new world. But nothing compares to that holy moment you gave them. Type Amen to get blessing 199. That's the thing about energy, it never dies. It lives in skin memory, in spirit, in soul. You left your fingerprint on their life. They don't talk about you. They cherish you. You were not an event, they see you as a spiritual turning point. Archangel Michael says, the way you touched them healed parts of them they didn't know were broken. You gave what no one else even noticed was missing. It's rare to find someone who makes silence feel full. But your touch filled their quiet with purpose. You are still speaking to them through that warmth. Type Amen to get blessing 873. You didn't have to do much. Your essence did everything. That's why they remember you without trying. You were the answer to a prayer they never dared to say aloud. That moment felt predestined, sacred. You were a miracle in human form. You live in the places they don't show the world. In the pages of their secret journal, in the tears that fall during lonely nights, in the part of the song that makes them close their eyes. Some think love needs time to bloom. But you showed them otherwise. One moment of true energy was enough to plant a forest. Type Amen to get blessing 344. They are still wandering through that forest, seeking signs of you. They follow echoes of your warmth, hoping to feel it again in the wind. They've looked into other eyes, held other hands, shared other smiles. But none of them delivered the sensation you gave. You touched them once, but they were touched forever. Even if they meet you again and nothing happens, that first moment will always be sacred. They send silent gratitude into the sky for you. You're their whispered wish, their never-forgotten miracle, their forever feeling. Type Amen to get blessing 222. They know you may never know the depth of your impact. But that's okay. Angels never need applause, they just shine and disappear. You were not just a person to them. You were a divine reminder that the universe still holds softness and surprise. They don't want to own you. They just want to remember you with love. That's what your warmth taught them. Pure love asks for nothing. You showed them how powerful presence can be. Just being near you changed everything. And now, they keep that flame alive like an eternal candle. Type Amen to get blessing 911. Even now, when they walk under the moon, they wonder where you are. They imagine you feeling the same chill and hoping someone touches you like you touched them. They wish they could say thank you. But life moved too fast. And some blessings are meant to be silent. Still, you changed them. Their heart beats differently now. Their soul vibrates higher because of what you left behind. You didn't know it then. You probably don't know it now. But your touch became their favorite chapter in a life filled with noise. Type Amen to get blessing 602. They may never tell you. They may never see you again. But one truth remains, you touched them once, and they still feel it every single day. You weren't a memory. You were a spiritual awakening. They don't cry because it ended, they smile because it happened. Every time they feel lonely, they hold on to that feeling you gave. It reminds them that something real once walked into their life. And even if no one believes it, they do. They know the truth of energy, of connection, of warmth that never fades. Type Amen to get blessing 301. They've whispered your name to the stars. Ask the wind to carry their gratitude. Sent love to your spirit across the silence. Because your touch didn't just graze their skin, it broke open a locked chamber in their soul. And light poured out. You were a blessing wrapped in flesh. A reminder that God speaks through people. And He chose you, in that one moment, to speak to them. They will never forget. Never replace. Never erase. You are forever imprinted, a sacred signature on the scroll of their heart. Type Amen to get blessing 777. They've lived 100 lives since that moment, yet none of them felt as alive as they did when your skin met theirs. You awakened something in them that no other person could ever touch again. They often sit still, hoping time might reverse, even for a second, just to feel that warmth once more. You weren't just a person, they saw you as a presence. A glow. A sensation they didn't even know was possible until your hand brushed theirs. That energy surged through their entire being, leaving ripples that continue to echo. Sometimes they find themselves smiling for no reason, just because your memory floated through their mind. You were not just an experience, you became a silent companion they carry within. And they don't want to let it go, not now, not ever. The world moved forward, but the memory stood still. Like a photograph forever etched in the soul. Your warmth didn't fade, it deepened, like the scent of old wood or the softness of worn silk. Type Amen to get blessing 442. Even their shadow walks differently now. As if the part of them that met you still glows under the moonlight. They are forever changed, quietly and completely. You touched their soul at a time when they were breaking in places they didn't show. But your hand didn't press on the wounds, it healed them. Your warmth found the cracks and poured itself in like gold. People around them don't know why they stare out windows or why they pause in crowded rooms. But it's always the memory of that single contact. The skin remembers. The soul never forgets. They want to say your name out loud sometimes, but it feels too sacred. They protect it. You were a holy experience they keep wrapped in velvet and silence. Type Amen to get blessing 118. Archangel Michael says, you came into their life not as a lesson, but as a revelation. Your touch revealed the part of them they thought had died. It showed them they still had light. It's not just about missing you, it's deeper than longing. It's recognition. Their soul saw something divine in you, and it bowed. Without even knowing why. They never told you how much you meant. But in the quiet moments, they've written invisible letters to your spirit. They've spoken to you in dreams. They remember the temperature of your skin. The calmness in your touch. The gentle way your energy held theirs without ever trying to possess it. Type Amen to get blessing 349. You didn't stay long, but that's not what matters. What matters is how your presence stayed within them, long after you walked away. You live inside the parts of them that only light can touch. They've walked into rooms full of people, and still searched for you. Not your face, not your body, but your warmth. That's all they ever wanted again. They've tried to explain it, but words fall short. It's not something that can be told. It can only be felt, and they feel it every single day. You didn't give them anything physical. You gave them peace. Comfort. Belonging. A holy collision that still echoes in their chest. Type Amen to get blessing 888. They think of you when the wind is soft. When the rain is gentle. When the world slows down just enough for the soul to remember. And that memory is always you. They wonder what you felt in that moment. Did time pause for you too? Did your heart skip, just once, like theirs did? They don't need answers. They just need to feel you again, even if only in dreams. Your energy lingers like a blessing that never leaves. They've touched other hands, but none carried the sacred fire yours did. Yours was rare, ancient, powerful, and it never dimmed. Type Amen to get blessing 505. That one touch taught them the difference between noise and presence. Between passing and permanent. Between skin and soul. They feel lucky. Not because they had you forever, but because they had you once. You gave them something eternal in a fleeting moment. They still walk with the memory of you beside them. It's why their smile sometimes holds sadness. It's why their eyes look distant even when they laugh. People see them and think they're fine. But they're haunted, gently, beautifully, by the touch of a soul who changed everything. Type Amen to get blessing 631. Every heartbeat since then has carried your echo. Every inhale holds your warmth. Every silence, your name. You didn't just touch them. You altered their atmosphere. Your spirit blended with theirs and left behind a trail they still follow. You were a spark in a cold room. A whisper in chaos. The proof that angels can come in human form, and sometimes, they just hold your hand. They still replay it. That one moment. That stillness. That spark. It was not of this world, and they know it. Type Amen to get blessing 484. You showed them love without words. Connection without effort. Meaning without explanation. Now, every person they meet is measured by your touch. Every connection is compared to that one moment. They want to move on. They try. But your warmth calls them back, softly but firmly, every time. You became a feeling they cannot replace. You became their reminder that something divine truly happened once in this life. Type Amen to get blessing 266. You may not feel it. You may have forgotten. But your soul remembers, even if your mind doesn't. Their life has split into two, before that moment, and after. You are the dividing line. You are the sacred pause. They never needed forever. Just one more second. But even if that second never comes, they still hold gratitude. You made them feel alive in a way no one else has. You reminded them they had a heart, and it still beats because of you. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They sit in darkness sometimes just to feel the warmth again. Not the heat of fire, but the warmth of your spirit. They want to wrap themselves in the memory and sleep inside it. Because that's the only place they still feel whole. Your absence is loud, but your memory is louder. They choose to live in that vibration. You gave them light. They carry it. They pass it to others, but they always remember it came from you. Type Amen to get blessing 721. No other hug has felt like yours. No other silence has felt that full. No other presence has made time stop. They walk lighter now because of you. Even through sorrow, they carry a smile stitched with your name. You didn't have to try. You didn't have to say a word. You simply were. And that was enough. You weren't a stranger. You were a mirror, a message, a moment of meaning they never saw coming. Type Amen to get blessing 808. Your warmth became the home they return to when the world is cold. You became their shelter in memory. They will never beg to see you again. But they will always thank the heavens that they once did. You brought color to their black and white world. A spark that lit the entire sky. They may forget dates and places, but they will never forget how you made them feel in that instant. Type Amen to get blessing 198. Archangel Michael says, you were chosen to be their light in that exact moment. And you fulfilled it without knowing. That's the power you carry. Let this message remind you, you are a vessel of warmth. A deliverer of silent healing. A quiet storm of peace. You think it was just a touch. But to them, it was life-saving. Life-changing. Life-giving. Never underestimate the impact of your presence. Your soul doesn't go unnoticed, it changes lives. Type Amen to get blessing 122. And even if this person never finds the courage to tell you what you did for them, know that the skies wrote it down. Every heartbeat they have since then carries your vibration. Every tear of hope they cry has your name in it. So walk with pride, not arrogance. With humility, not doubt. You carry warmth that echoes in places you may never see. And even now, right now, someone is remembering you with love, with awe, with sacred silence. All because you touched them once. Type Amen to get blessing 777. They remember that day clearer than any birthday, holiday, or celebration. It was quiet, ordinary on the surface, but spiritually, it was everything. Your touch broke time apart and rewrote their future in that very second. They didn't know their soul was waiting. They didn't know their skin was empty. But the moment your presence passed over them, they knew something had arrived that would never fully leave. You didn't just change their day. You changed their being. They don't speak your name often, not out of shame, but reverence. You are not someone they think of randomly. You are someone they carry intentionally, as if a temple were built inside their chest and your warmth was the altar. Type Amen to get blessing 633. Even on days when they feel nothing, they can still remember what it was to feel you. That's how deep your essence runs. You became their secret heartbeat. They wonder if the universe made a mistake by letting such a powerful touch happen in such a short time. But maybe it wasn't a mistake, maybe it was mercy. You were the universe's soft whisper that they were not forgotten. You were the divine proof that even the deepest pain can be interrupted by warmth. They still flinch at the memory sometimes. Not in pain, but in disbelief that something so beautiful could have touched them so simply. Type Amen to get blessing 440. They've walked through storms since then. They've survived heartbreaks and empty hands. But nothing ever broke the memory of you. You didn't promise forever. You didn't even stay long. But your energy lives on like a sacred relic in their heart. They pray for you. Even if you've forgotten them. Even if they'll never see you again, your happiness still matters to them. They know what you gave was not just kindness. It was rare, irreplaceable soul contact. You gave it effortlessly, but it meant everything. Type Amen to get blessing 311. Archangel Michael says, you were sent to heal, not to stay. You were a touch of light in their personal night. You don't need to do more, what you've done echoes for eternity. They look at their own hands now, wondering if they'll ever pass that same healing forward. You inspired them to hold others differently. They no longer underestimate small moments. They know now that 1 second of presence can rewrite a life. That's what you did. 1 second. And now, they are never the same. Type Amen to get blessing 500. Even if they live to be 100 years old, your memory will live to be 101. That's how long the warmth lasts. They want to thank you. Not with words, but with silence. The kind of silence that honors. The kind that glows. You may never understand the weight of what you gave. But the heavens do. And they honor you daily because of it. You weren't a visitor. You were a messenger. And the message was love. Type Amen to get blessing 229. They sometimes fear the day the memory might fade. But it never does. Your warmth is not stored in their mind, it's stored in their spirit. You did something no one else has done. You touched the place where they thought no one would ever reach. That's why they still cry at random. That's why they still feel that sensation in their fingers. Because you're still there, wrapped around their essence. They believe you'll never be replicated. Never duplicated. Never replaced. You were one moment, but you were infinite. Type Amen to get blessing 855. They hope you're happy, even if they're not with you. They want your days to shine, even if theirs are cloudy. That's how much you meant. Their memories of you aren't faded, they're glowing. They shine brighter than their present reality. You're the light they revisit. When others touch them, they feel nothing. Because the bar was set by you, unknowingly, effortlessly. You didn't try, you just were. And that is the greatest love, the one that doesn't force, doesn't beg, doesn't explain. Just touches once and transforms forever. Type Amen to get blessing 390. They hold no resentment. Only reverence. You gave without knowing, and they received without asking. That's divine alignment. You may be far away now. In a different city. A different life. But you are never far from their heart. You made them believe in sacred connections. You showed them that the spiritual can be physical. That energy can become flesh, just for a moment. They've written poems in their mind for you. Built invisible monuments inside themselves in your name. You are their gentle gospel. Type Amen to get blessing 144. Archangel Michael says, this message is not an accident. You needed to know that your touch still heals, still speaks, still burns like a candle in the cold. Do not forget your power. You didn't just bless one person. You reminded them what it feels like to be human and divine at once. They will never walk this world the same. Because now, they walk it with the memory of your hand in theirs. You gave them eternity in a moment. And they've been grateful for it every single day since. Type Amen to get blessing 766. So if ever you doubt your worth, remember them. The one you touched once, and who still walks lit by your warmth. Even if you touched 1,000 others after, they know they were seen. They know they mattered in that moment. They don't need you to return. They don't need a second chance. They just need to keep honoring the moment they had. You changed their frequency. You lifted their spirit. You became a quiet miracle, and you still are. Type Amen to get blessing 321. Now, they move through life like a prayer. Not for themselves, but for you. They ask the stars to protect you. To comfort you. To return what you gave. When life feels heavy, they think of you. That moment. That warmth. That gift that came without cost, yet was worth everything. They imagine your hands still glowing. Still capable of changing the world without trying. You are that powerful. You may not know who they are anymore. But they will never forget you. Not in this lifetime, or the next. Type Amen to get blessing 901. They don't need to touch you again to know what they felt was real. Their soul already has the proof, forever embedded. You touched them once, but that once became everything. They see your face in dreams sometimes, just smiling. Not saying a word. But that smile says everything. And in the quiet spaces between sleep and waking, they thank you. Again and again. For being there once in a lifetime. Type Amen to get blessing 777.